There's something different about 2 a.m. Hospice rooms feel quieter. The hallway lights are dim. Machines hum softly in the background. Most of the world is asleep. But at 2 a.m., conversations begin. I've sat beside many beds at that hour, and I can tell you something honestly. Dying patients rarely talk about death at 2 a.m. They talk about life. Tonight, I want to share what I've heard in those sacred hours. Not to sadden you, but to wake you up to what truly matters. If you stay until the end, you may start looking at your own life a little differently. 1. Do you think they know I love them? At 2 a.m., defenses are down. Pain medication makes people softer. Fatigue makes them honest. One of the most common whispers I hear is, "Do you think they know I love them?" Not, "Did I make enough money? Was I successful enough? Did I win?" Just love. They worry about the words they didn't say enough. They replay arguments. They hope their children understood the sacrifices. They hope their spouse felt cherished. They hope their parents knew they were grateful. At 2 a.m., pride disappears, and love becomes urgent. Lesson: don't make people guess how you feel about them. Say it, text it, show it, repeat it, because one day, you might be the one lying awake, hoping they knew. Just I keep thinking about when I was young. Time collapses at night. I've watched 87-year-olds smile like teenagers while describing their first kiss, the first car they ever drove, the day they met their spouse, the smell of their childhood home. At 2 a.m., people don't relive their stress. They relive moments that made them feel alive. One man once laughed softly and said, "I can still see her in that yellow dress." He wasn't in a hospital room anymore. He was 22 again. Here's what's powerful about that. When everything is stripped away, careers, titles, even physical strength, memories remain. Your life becomes a collection of moments. So ask yourself, are you creating memories worth revisiting at 2 a.m.? Meyer, I wish I hadn't worked so much. This one comes quietly, almost like a confession. I missed a lot. Not because they were bad people, not because they didn't love their families, but because they thought there would always be more time, more recitals, more dinners, more weekends. At 2 a.m., regret is louder than ambition ever was. And here's what's heartbreaking. Most of them were just trying to provide. They believed sacrifice today would mean happiness tomorrow. But tomorrow isn't promised. This doesn't mean don't work hard. It means remember why you're working. If success costs you every meaningful moment, was it success? Here, I'm not afraid. I just don't want to be alone. People assume dying patients are terrified of death. Many aren't. What they fear is loneliness. At 2 a.m., the room feels bigger. The silence feels heavier. The shadows stretch longer. And what brings the most peace isn't medication. It's presence. A hand to hold. A voice saying, "I'm here." Someone adjusting the blanket gently. Human connection matters more at the end than anything medicine can provide. And here's something important. You don't have to wait until someone is dying to sit beside them. Be present now, because presence is the greatest comfort we can offer anyone. But do you think there's something after this? Yes, faith comes up at 2 a.m., not always in religious terms, but in curiosity, in wonder, in hope. Do you think I'll see them again? Do you think this is the end? Do you think it's peaceful? These aren't debates, they're vulnerable questions. And often what they're really asking is, does my life still matter after I'm gone? Here's the truth I've witnessed. Whether someone believes in heaven, energy, or simply legacy, they want to know their life counted. And it does, in every person they loved, in every kindness they gave, in every life they touched. You don't disappear, you ripple. 6. I wish I had been kinder to myself. This one surprises people. At 2 a.m., many don't just reflect on how they treated others. They reflect on how they treated themselves. I was too hard on myself. I worried too much. I never felt good enough. I kept waiting to be happy. Think about that. At the very end, they don't wish they had pushed harder. They wish they had rested more, forgiven themselves sooner, enjoyed their own lives without constant self-criticism. How many of us are living in quiet self-judgment right now? If the end teaches anything, it's this. You were always enough, even when you didn't believe it. 7. The most powerful thing said at 2 a.m. Sometimes there are no big speeches, just a whisper. I had a good life. Not perfect, not painless, just good. And when someone can say that at 2 a.m., in their final chapter, there's a kind of peace in the room that's hard to describe. That sentence doesn't come from wealth. It comes from loving well, forgiving often, showing up, being present. That's it. That's the formula. 2 a.m. strips away performance. There's no audience, no social media, no applause, just truth. And the truth is this. At the end of life, we crave connection over accomplishment, presence over productivity, love over legacy. So maybe the question isn't, what will I accomplish this year? Maybe it's, if someone sat with me at 2 a.m. in my final days, what would I be talking about? Would it be regret or gratitude? You don't need a diagnosis to adjust your priorities. You just need awareness. If this message moved you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who needs the reminder. And if you want more honest conversations about life, death, and everything in between, subscribe to this channel. Because here, we don't talk about dying to create fear. We talk about it to help you live better. And tonight, before you sleep, text someone you love, so neither of you has to wonder about it at 2 a.m.